Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Market Report. We got a microphone over here for you guys. Running solo today. OC will be back later today, guys, but we got a lot of red going on today. We got PPI data. Came in better than expected. Should have been bullish. What happened? Jerome Powell spoke 10 minutes later, and down it all went. We're going to be breaking that down. We got some Coinbase news today, some Walmart news about tariffs and inflation coming. We've got some insight to what Jerome Powell actually talked about, and we're going to be looking at a Bloomberg article talking about Wall Street getting tired and this pump may be coming to an end soon. How about that? We're going to be breaking all this down and a whole lot more right here today on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Let's get it. Class is in session. See you on the other side. Oh, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Market Report. Guys, we're watching this chart right here. We're back at this line. I've been talking about this price level for a long time, guys. It's this 786 fib here, and it is our support, and we're back at it right now. So we're going to be looking at that. But hey, shout out to everybody that joined me already that's in the house. I appreciate you all being here. Looks like we got 38 people total, 50 coming in right now from the Otter gang, busting in the door. Appreciate y'all being here, man. So yeah, we're going to have to bet it's backwards hat piper. Got my grunt style cross rifles. We'll go here. There you go. A little bit of that, a little bit of this. But yeah, backward hat piper. It's okay. Bracoshi No Dinero, welcome. Dylan VA in the house with us. Alexandra G. She said, is that a bull playing bagpipes? Absolutely it is. All right, let's get into this because I got a lot to go over today. We've got news galore coming in. So we need to break it all down. Plus, guys, Coinbase, average crypto Joe. I think at one time you were on the night show and you said that you had somebody on the phone with you, an English speaking American, like white as could be, telling you that your account had been hacked and stuff. We got some insight on where all that data come from and how they knew so much about us. I think that was you though. Let me know in the chat if it was or was not. But yeah, the Coinbase getting extorted for $20 million with a whole bunch of data that they got. So we're going to be taking a look at all that. Let's go get it though. Right now, let's jump over to the news and let's start running through all this. So I can quit telling you about what we got to talk about and just talk about it. Here we go. FOMO Sapien, hola, Crypto Billy, welcome, bro. Okay, so looking here at the Into the Cryptoverse right now, guys, into the crypto market cap, we're currently sitting at $3.275 trillion. The median average on the crypto market cap is 3.79, so we're about 13.58% undervalued right now. Looking at the risk levels, we're back at 56.7 on our DCA Piper plan. This is still a 2x DCA plan in our little world. So Coinbase Security called me the other day and I asked him to validate details of my account. He couldn't. I cussed him out. Yep. There you go, man. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. The scammers are deep out there. Bitcoin dominance with stable 61.57%, without stable 66.21% when you take them stables out. So not at that 71% level that I'm watching yet, but about 10% off from that. Let's go jump into X and talk about the X marks the spot here. Looking at the crypto fear and greed, Bitcoin right now is sitting at 70. This is in greed right now. We still got a ways to go. And then PPI, we had April PPI come in this morning, fell 2.4% below the expectation of 2.5%. It's good, right? That means producer price inflation was down. Core PPI inflation falls to 3.1%, as expected, 3.1%. However, March PPI inflation was revised higher. That means the previous month that we were basing the projection for this month, they were revised higher from 3.3% to 4%. So last month's report actually went up 0.7%, and core PPI went up to 3.4%. So we got mixed signals that did come in on the PPI inflation. However, pause for effect. If you know, you know. That is not what caused the markets to dump. We were actually pumping when this came out. 10 minutes later, Jerome Powell started speaking. We'll get into all that in a moment here. Looking at the 24-hour liquidations here, guys. In the past 24 hours, 163,647 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations came in at about $375.5 million. Largest single liquidation order was on Binance. It was Ethereum for $2.64 million on a single trade. So crypto bubbles. Let's go see that on the daily. We're on the red. Hourly, we have a couple. Hex and PulseX. Tron, TRX is up. Mostly everything else, though, in the red. Let's go over here and look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is down 1.5% on the daily, sitting at about 102.3. Ethereum is down 2.4%. Tether has moved back up into number 3, and XRP lost its spot again, down 4.7%. BNB holding up quite well, actually, 0.4%. It's at 651. Solana's down 4.5%. Doge is down 5.1. Cardano is down 6.1, back to that 76-cent mark. I know Ada Ace out there watching that 70% mark closely. He don't like it when it goes below that level. Tron is down 1.4. Sui is down 4.5. Avalanche 7.8. Man, Avalanche had an avalanche price action. Any other big Leo token, though, holding up well. This is that native token on the DeFi. So, of course, it's going to do good. A lot of people are using the decentralized exchange right now, back and forth on the money. So, up 1.6%, moving up 2 spots to number 18. And Toncoin wrapping out the top 20, though it is down 7%. Litecoin is moving back up, only down 3.2% as these others fall more. It's moving back up into that top 20. So shout out to you Litecoin holders out there. All right, let's check out what's going on in the stock market right now. We got the Dow Jones, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Russell 2K all in the red. Biggest downside mover here right now is the NASDAQ, believe it or not, not the Russell 2K, which is your small caps, typically goes down harder. So VIX is down 18, or is at 1871. It is up about 0.5%. So we're seeing some volatility return, but we're still below that 20% level. That 20 points is where I really watch for volatility to really just crash prices and stuff like that. So not looking too bad. We can easily turn around on this. However, it is showing some signs of volatility. Bonds, the 10-year bond, guys, is just below 4.5%. It's at 4.485%. If this thing gets closer to 5, we could have serious problems in the economy, just so you guys are aware. The 30 is like almost 5% right now. Oil is coming down a little bit. We're getting back closer to that 60 points. Remember, below 60 points, oil becomes non-profitable. They have to start changing operations, shutting down wells and stuff like that in order to cut down cost of operations to maintain profitability. And it also is a precursor indicator. It precedes market fall-offs in the sector. So if it starts to dump, it typically means the economy is right behind it by about 3 months. So looking at gold, it's moving back up today of just under $3,200, up 0.23% today. Silver and copper both in the downside movement, and platinum and palladium rallying back up. All right, let's talk about this economic data. This is your macro report. We got PPI this morning, as we just discussed, was supposed to be as high as 0.2. Okay, look, here's revisions. Was negative 4%, 0.4%, right? Came in, now revised up to flat 0. Was expected to be as high as 0.2%, meaning an increase of inflation, came in at negative 5. So that's a month-over-month PPI. Retail sales was expected to be flat or come down. Had another revision there. Revisions. Went up 0.2%, came in at 0.1. Not as high as they thought it would be, but not as low as what they thought it could be either. So there we go. Core PPI month over month, we have that one coming in way lower, which means that it costs less for the producers to produce goods. That is producer price inflation. So this should have been bullish. Should have just straight out the gate been bullish. I will point out, though, manufacturing has dropped in both areas. It wasn't as bad as what they thought it would be in Philadelphia. Came in at negative 4, was at negative level, negative 10, but not as bad as negative 26. Good Lord. So, yeah, we had some mixed data this morning, but overall, this should have been bullish. Jerome Powell started speaking, and down it goes. All right, let's look and see what this is doing to our chance of rate cuts, guys, because when we look at the rate cuts, we got rate hikes, rate cut chances. This is from the CME group. For those that are new here, we look at this after we look at the economic data. Looking at 18 June, that is the next FOMC meeting with the Fed Reserve. And as of right now, we are sitting, let me give this a refresh. I want to make sure I got the most recent report. Yeah, 91.8% chance of no rate cut in June. Looking at July, we have a 61.4% chance of no rate cut in July. Moving to September, we're still at it. This keeps coming up. There was 20, there was 18, 20, 21. Now it's at 25.5% chance of no rate cut now in September. I'm looking at like one, maybe two rate cuts this entire year, guys. They're now saying two. I'm saying one. So, let's go and look at this Coinbase article. So Coinbase says hackers bribe staff to steal customer data and are demanding $20 million in ransom. Good Lord. The crypto exchange operator received an email on May 11th from someone claiming they obtained information about certain Coinbase customers' accounts, as well as others' internal Coinbase documentation, including materials relating to customer service and account management systems. Coinbase reported in an SEC filing. Shares fell 4%. Let's go back here, look at X marks the spot, and let's talk about this because they bribed rogue overseas support agents to steal customer account data. This was an inside job. Okay. They have Coinbase rejected the $20 million ransom that they were given, instead offering a $20 million reward for information leading to the attacker's arrest and conviction. This is one of those like gangster plays, man, where you get you get this thing coming out and they go, hey, look, we got these names, addresses, phone numbers, and emails of your members, of your users, right? Your client. Mass social security numbers with the last four digits. Excuse me, Serge, the last four digits of your social security number, 1234. Why, yes, it is. Cool. Then check this out. Mass bank account numbers, some bank account identifiers, government ID images, including driver's license and passports. Account data, balance snapshots, transaction history. Well, I see that you just moved such and such on this date. Oh wow, they're in the system. They know my stuff, right? Guys, this is going to be setting you up for a lot of scam phone calls and emails. They will never ever call you. Coinbase's customer service is the worst customer service on the planet. Put a 1 in the chat if you know this. But if you look at this, from the perspective of, hey, I know that they'll never call me because their service sucks, then when you get a phone call or you get an email, you should know that. Let's go find out. We had a question here. Let me see. Hey, Siri, how much is $20 million in Indian rupees? It's 1.7 billion rupees, man. There you go. That's what it is. Thank you, Siri. I appreciate that. So yeah, Brian Armstrong, different Armstrong. He comes out and he talks about this $20 million. So let's check this out.
Hey everyone. I want to make you aware of a disturbing email that we received recently at Coinbase. It was a ransom note demanding $20 million in Bitcoin in exchange for these attackers not releasing some information they claim to have obtained on our customers. Now, we like to do things transparently here at Coinbase, and so I'm going to respond publicly to these attackers by saying, no, we are not going to pay your ransom. In fact, I have a few next steps in mind that I'm going to share at the end of this video. But for the rest of you watching, wondering what happened, we did an investigation here, and these attackers have been approaching our overseas customer support agents, looking for a weak link, someone who would accept a bribe in exchange for sharing some customer information with them. Now, our support tools have limited access to customer information. There was no passwords or private keys or funds accessed as part of this. But customer support agents do have access to personal information like name, date of birth, address, etc. And attackers still want access to this information because it allows them to conduct social engineering attacks where they can call our customers, impersonating Coinbase customer support, and try to trick them into sending their funds to the attacker. Now, unfortunately, they were able to find a few bad apples. Our systems are designed to mitigate the impact of something like this. So less than 1% of our monthly transacting users had their records accessed, but this is still unacceptable. And I want to tell you what we're doing about it. So first, any customers that were socially engineered as a result of this incident, we're going to reimburse them. There's more details on our website, on our blog post about the reimbursement process. You can read more there. Any customers who have been impacted by this or have been notified at this point. Number two, we're hardening our systems around customer support to make something like this much more difficult.
So basically, guys, looks like hopefully we'll start to get a little bit better security on our Coinbase stuff. But he turned around, he offered the $20 million instead of a ransom going out to the individuals. He decided that he was going to use that $20 million to find them, like any information leading to these individuals' capture. An arrest, I'll give that person $20 million. So pretty gangster. It's almost along the lines of I'm not going to pay you a ransom. In fact, I'm going to put this money out, and anyone who does a hit on you will get this money. It's pretty ballsy move. So, but yeah, that's the news from Coinbase. If you guys have been wondering, it's been all over the place this morning. Let's talk about this Walmart. We're not reading this whole article, and we'll get into Bitcoin's chart here in just a second. But Walmart CFO, Chief Financial Officer, says price hikes from tariffs could start later this month as retailer beats on earnings. So I want to point something out here. All of the earnings stuff that we're seeing right now, those were from great months. We had January, February, March, right? For that quarter. Now we're in the new quarter. So, which is where really the downfall has happened. So, overall, right now, guys, looking at this, they're expecting by the end of this month, we should start seeing the impact of tariffs. I do think next month we're going to start seeing the numbers come in on, inflation being higher also. So even though today we were a little bit low, it kind of sets us up for a ball spike, volleyball spike, next ball spike. Go ahead, Buck. I know you're going to run with that one for next month. So Walmart CFO saying that we will not see that until later this month. So we are starting to see some timelines on that. And then Fed Powell cautions about higher long-term rates. This is what actually dumped your crypto prices today. Fed's Jerome Powell, cautions about higher long-term rates as supply shocks provide policy challenges. He said Thursday that long-term interest rates will likely be higher as the economy changes and policy is in flux. We may be entering into a period of more frequent and potentially more persistent supply shocks, a difficult challenge for the economy and for central banks. The supply shock remarks are similar to those that Powell has delivered over the past several weeks, cautioning that policy changes could put the Fed in a difficult balancing act. So, yeah, that's what's scaring people. That's a lot of uncertainty coming out from the Federal Reserve there. And then let's go. Yeah, we'll come back to this stuff. Let's go to Bitcoin's chart. And first, we'll go check in with the people. Got to go check in with the people, man. See what all's going on over in the chat. Over to the chat. There we go. Look, I got transparency going on now. See, you guys can see back there now. What's up, everybody? Let's go see here. Man, Pinko is blowing up the chat over here. Does he have an issue that I can't solve? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. FOMO sapien. Bokoshi Dinero. Coinbase Security called me the other day up. I read that one. Alex O Crypto in the house, bro. What's up, man? The Otter Gang bringing everybody over here. I appreciate you, man. Wixwife Fine 89, 2Dub, Mike Lee, 20 million. Ouch. And I think Pinku was asking what that was what his money was in rupees, I believe. I don't know. Murphy YouTube in here. Trade Intuition. I see you. Bingo, bango, bro. Alexander G. Ondo is killing me today. It's Ondo's a strong project, man, but I don't think it's time yet. Not with price action on Bitcoin. So keep oil under $100. But above 60, that's the sweet spot username. Under 100, above 60. Save Bitcoin Drive. All right. Yeah, Pinku is dropping stuff in here. Can somebody do something about Pinku? I'm sure somebody did. I'm not sure. I appreciate it. Might play. Yes. Got it. Okay, Eric Wallen, Robinhood customer service is the worst. They are pretty bad. And then Bococino Dinero. He said they're reimbursing affected users. Yes, they are. We saw that too. Sokatano, Buck is in here. Okay. No, I'm not missing anything, it looks like. I think we're pretty caught up here. Walmart should focus on the Broncos. Okay. I'm not sure what that's regarding to. Username. You'll have to explain that one to me. Let's see here. Warren G, what up, y'all? Otter Gang. Okay, perfect. Let's go jump into the Bitcoin chart. We are holding some support levels here that I've talked about numerous times on this chart, guys. The 786. This is the level. I said, watch this platinum pocket because we were in the golden pocket. Pulled from the high that we had back in January, right around Inauguration Day. Pull from that high down to the double bottom low. That will give you these fibs. And you can see as we came in on the golden pocket, it was a bad resistance level for us, giving us a double top and a rejection. Again, we pulled down into this range here of a liquidation, not liquidation, but a volume, fixed range volume profile. If we bring this in here and just show you, there you go. Nice big volume profile. That is where we found all of our support at. And then up we go. Once we broke through, and it really comes in on this spot right here. Let me get this in. We get this nice little rejection here on my 0.66 GAN level, okay? And then we pulled down, got a bounce on the 618, and then went straight into the platinum pocket. Now, we've been holding the top side of this as resistance and the bottom side of this 786 at 101.881 as support for a while. This was the key resistance level, and once we got above it, we've held it nicely. So there's really some great scalp trades that have taken place in this thing. Because if you're looking at this from a scalp perspective, let's just go onto the line, move that up there. You're looking at about 1% every time. So Alex O's beautiful 44x leverage that he uses would have been a 44% move every single 4-hour candle that we hit here because it bounces up pretty good. What I'm watching is if we lose this level, guys, we do have the 0.66 down here again, coming in right in line with this dynamic reactor. And if I put this on the daily, you'll see we have a massive fair value gap that goes from this level down to this level, and we've cleaned out that much of it. If you want to see what that looks like, I will put this on to, we get rid of brush marks, and we'll throw on Chart Prime's Market Dynamics Pro, and you'll see fair value gap. There you go. This is auto printed from shout out Chart Prime. There you go. Appreciate it. And you can see right there, there's the part that's clouded in. That's where it has been cleaned out on this fair value gap. I'm really watching for a good long setup for this to come down, clean out this fair value gap, hit that 0.66, and on that 4-hour, catch that key support level of the dynamic reactor. You can see down here, massive support on that dynamic reactor all the way through there. This would be our first return visit to it, and that's what I'd be watching for as a long swing off of that. Of course, you can set your stop loss pretty tight just on the other side under the 0.618, which would be at $96,000. Now, I would say this. Have a bit of caution. Approach with caution because that 96 has got a CME gap at it, but we still have one sitting right below that I want to talk about. So you can see here, 96,600 is a CME gap on the daily. It looks like it on the 4-hour that is closed. It's not. If I bring this in on the daily, you'll see right there, 7 May, we had a CME gap that got opened on a Tuesday to a Wednesday, has not been closed yet, okay? But sitting right below this from 22 April, we still have a CME gap coming in at about $91,000 to $92,500. So do be aware that if you're going to get into that trade on that CME gap, on that 6.6 golden pocket, we do have this bottom side here. This is going to be where that golden pocket's at, by the way, is down here at this CME gap. We do have the one more sitting right below it. So if I jump back over here and show you, let's take a look. Yeah, right there, 96,000 is the golden pocket. So be aware that there is one more sitting down at about 91. And if we jump over to our heat map, let's give this a refresh. I'll show you there's some liquidation levels sitting around here anyway. So All right. So let's look here at BTC liquidation heat map. Let it load up. I'll drink some coffee. Someone said earlier about caffeine being bad for you on Alex O's show. And I was like, man, caffeine, nicotine, and tears of trauma is what we lived on in the military. So you not going to load for me, bro? What's wrong with you? Get in here and load up. We'll give this a refresh moment. I'll go over and we'll look at this chart for a second if it doesn't load here in a minute. Playing games. There we go. You'll see down here about $91,000, $90,000 to $93,000 is our immediate range on the 3-month liquidation heat map. So there's about $2 billion in liquidity down here for people to grab anyways. Again, I wanted to show you that because if you look at that CME, it's around that level, that 91,000. That would also be the 50% and the 200-day simple moving average. So good reasons for it to head down there, good support for it when it does. So let's go take a look at this level here, guys. This is that top range that I've been talking about forever. We got some new people in here, so I'll just really quick wrap up for them on this. This is a trend-based fib, and it's pulled from cycle lows to cycle highs to cycle lows. So this range over here that said, hey, this is very likely your cycle top, that came from this bottom, this top in 2021, and this bottom in 2022. Taking all of these together here, you can see that this golden pocket very much respected, and even this re-rally that we're seeing up into here after getting the double top back here, this cannot seem to get above that 0.618, and that's a $103,500. It's just every time it gets up there, getting strong resistance on this range that was projected and predicted about 6 years ago. So oddly enough, let me reload my ticker down there. There we go. So, why are we having so much problem getting in above these levels of resistance across all markets? It's not just Bitcoin, guys. We're seeing it in the stock market too. And Bloomberg put out this article yesterday about Wall Street's tariff meltdown. Recovery slows, and the big rebound from April's reciprocal tariff meltdown may be running out of gas. Same thing we're seeing in crypto. So after a 22% jump from last month's intraday lows, the S&P edged up just 0.1% on Wednesday. Most sectors fell, but big tech climbed. The dollar erased losses after a person familiar with the matter told Bloomberg News the U.S. isn't actually working to include currency policy in any other trade accord negotiations. If you guys don't understand that, that's a pretty big deal, because the U.S. dollar is a reserve treasury, right? It's a global reserve currency that everyone uses for buying oil, so on and so forth. And inside of this whole trade policy, no one's actually talking about what currencies have to be used or any type of currency policies at all. So the dollar has fallen some 8% overall against world currency since Donald Trump took office. The Republican has a long history of complaining that other countries, especially in Asia, deliberately weaken their currencies to gain a commercial edge over America. The U.S. president has sought to impose tariffs on most of the world, though there's an open question as to whether he has the power to do so, and is now dangling the possibility that those levies will be dialed back as he engages in trade talks with multiple countries. So just taking a look at the 10-year Treasury yield, sharp drop, recovery not as high as it was. Dollar index, a little bit of recovery in the S&P 500. Again, a higher high, but not back to its $6,200 level, right? Trump has tapped advisors such as Stephen Moran, chair of the White House Council of Economic Advisors, whose previous work mapped out the path to alleviating what he has called the burdens of owning the world's reserve currency. That in itself may be why market participants are concluding that the logic of Trump's stated goals, a smaller trade deficit and a U.S. manufacturing revival, point towards a weaker greenback, regardless of how the currency policy is officially characterized. So talk of currency coordination may be premature, but FX traders are clearly snipping around the edges. Whether or not the U.S. formally includes currency in trade talks, markets are already trading as if a weaker dollar is implicit. Let's go talk about that over here, guys, because what that means This is actually a really big deal in this article, and Bloomberg, that's who brought that one out. What this means is that weaker dollar. What has led to inflation? The weaker dollar. I think this is actually a catalyst for Bitcoin to rally, because as the dollar weakens, one of the big reasons that our stock market has gone up so much in the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years, the same reason that home prices have gone up, so on and so forth, isn't so much because the valuation of those items has gone up. It's because in valuation of the dollar weakening, those prices have gone up. Okay. So if it takes more of the green to buy this stock, a share of the stock, then obviously the price of that would be higher number of dollars, right? And so what we're catching here is that a lot of this trade deal is actually going to lead to a possible weakening of the U.S. dollar, but a balanced trade deal for longer economic, which is not a bad thing. We actually do need to get some stability on the valuation of the dollar, but weakening it is going to lead to higher inflation, or at least higher less asset purchase power, which means you need more money to buy it. I do think that Bitcoin is the answer to that, and we could see a massive rally coming to Bitcoin off of this type of talk. And I sent this to Alexandra G last night, and we had a little talk about it. So yeah, he needs a weaker dollar. He does. It's sad but true. But that means Bitcoin has a lot more growth potential off of that too. So our Bitcoin whale's about to cash out. Let's talk about a couple more things here on the article side. Let's go over here. There we go. Our Bitcoin whale's about to cash out. Key metric signals possible profit taking ahead, guys. Bitcoin's recent market movement reflects ongoing upward momentum, even as short-term fluctuations suggest some cooling. As of today, Bitcoin was trading about 103,485, below my 103,500 line that I said we need to get above and hold, and we're not doing that, reflecting a slight 0.6% dip in the last 24 hours. However, the asset remains just under 5% from its all-time high at 109. Amid this price performance, renewed activity among long-term holders is generating interest about the sustainability at the current price range. I question that too. Bitcoin binary CDD signals potential market rotation. Crypto quant analyst Avocado on chain recently highlighted a key indicator known as binary coin days destroyed, which helps assess the behavior of long dormant Bitcoin. Historically, spikes in the binary CDD have coincided with market tops or phases where distribution from early holders to newer market participants increase. According to Avocado, applying a 30-day moving average smooths the data and provides a more clearer trend. And you can see as it hits up here, that's where we've had our sell-off points, and we're getting up to that level right now. So he does see that if this continues at this level of not moving up on the price, while we're also seeing that CDD move up, we could see a little bit of a sell-off, or not a little bit, could be bull market tops, right? Which would be in the range that I'm watching. If you guys don't know, my thesis for the top this cycle, we got a lot of people that don't always watch me in here. So if you guys don't, you're missing out. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, because we break down news like this all the time over here. The thing that I'm watching is that if we don't get into this golden pocket again, okay, that this range could be a top. This historically, we've only had one cycle that we've broke above this, and that was back in 2017. There we go. And there we go. That was back in 2017. But if you go back here and you look, top sides on back in 2013 in the golden pocket, top side at the golden pocket in 2021. So this has been 75% accurate. That's pretty good call. Oh, snap. Jeez, Louise. We got Tom Crown in the house, dude. What is up, man? Over here talking macro, and the macro king just walks into the building. I appreciate you being here, bro. Shout out to you, man. So yeah, when you look at the trend-based fib extensions, guys, this has 75% of the time been our market top. The thesis that I would need to see for this to get higher is that we would need to take into this 0.618 above 103.5, get this as a support level and prove it as support, meaning we need to close higher time frame candles up there and then do a breakout. If we do get that breakout, we can then transition over to our other setups here, and that's our fib cycles. Let's go talk about this, because when we look at this, yeah, we got this golden pocket we need to get back inside of. But historically, looking at this type of fib layout, we've always hit the 1.618 at least. So just hitting the 1.618 here, meaning that we come in, we do get our support in this level and then come up. That 1.618 would be high side $167,000 this cycle. But overall, right now, guys, 103.5 is a key level for us to retake. That has a 75% accuracy of being our top side. We could theoretically run up as high as 117. That would be 117,000 would be the 0.66 GAN level on this setup, but and still be the top range. But if we do get up in here and we get a nice bounce support at 103.552 on a high time frame, watch for 167. That's my overall thesis for the cycle. But be aware with the macro conditions, what they are in the space right now, with fears of this, unknown of that, tariffs, inflation, Jay Powell. That could be this being our top range. And if that's the case, DCA is the way. That's why we do the Piper plan over in our Discord, but guys, where we do a risk-based leverage amount of DCA as we go down. So if it's, your DCA is $25 and DCA 2, you're at 50, 75, 100 or whatever. As the lower it goes, the more that energy builds up in the slingshot, the more we're putting into it. And then we have our profit taking plan too. So go check it out. Links down below. $5 a month, man. It's the cheapest around. You get trade calls, you get trade classes, you get education classes, you get access to me and OC and the whole Piper plan for DCA on all the altcoins and Bitcoin. So it's probably the cheapest thing around. But dude, Tom Crown, I appreciate you stopping in, man. That was awesome to see you pop in here. I am honored. I am humbled to see that you are here. You hear it, Piper, $160,000 BTC. Yeah, hey, $167,000 is a possibility, but we cannot bank on that. We prepare, right? We don't get scared. We get prepared. That's what we do here. So, guys, I appreciate everyone being here today. I am going to push everyone over to Crypto Princess. She's got a show going in about 20 minutes. It's an interview, but I don't think we're going to make it that long. I've got a whole lot of work to do today. I did not say $800 link, Buck. Appreciate you all being here. But don't forget, tune in today. We got Trade with OC. He will be back this evening. We do have Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto. He's been crushing it on his nighttime calls and his market analysis on the technical side. And then tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp should be back with Good Morning Crypto. But if not, OC will be back tomorrow. I'll be right here at 10 a.m. breaking down the macro, the news, the headlines, the charts, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, I appreciate you all. We will catch you. Trade safe. Use some risk management. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall off. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall off.
Those are rookie numbers in the dragon.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean? You can't handle the truth!
That was awesome, dude.